Hello and welcome to Messy Bun Manifesting. I'm your host, Soul Coach Michelle, and I am so excited to be sharing with you today warp speed manifesting, like how we manifest in a flash, because I think that is one of the things people get stuck on is they want their stuff, they want it now, like Sheldon Cooper. Hello, universe, 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 where's my shit, right? This is where we want our stuff right away. And the fact is that being that way can put a hindrance in your manifesting. So let's talk about that today. So, first of all, again, I'm Soul Coach Michelle. Welcome to my channel, the Soul Coach Studio. I want to offer up something really quickly as an announcement because I'm excited about it. I've started doing rather meditation minutes because in my book, Seven Steps to Manifesting Your Dream Life, which you can buy on Amazon, the first step, or we can call them elements, I put them in steps, but you don't have to do them in order. It's really just more here are the elements that need to be incorporated into your practice to make sure that you are in an energy that is in an energy of attraction of what you want instead of attraction what you don't want, because we're always attracting stuff. It's just whether we're attracting what we want or what we don't because of our energy. So, step one in the book is getting centered, which incorporates meditation. And I remember when I went to an Abraham concert conference a couple years ago, somebody asked, like, what is the number one thing that you can do that will really kind of amp up your manifesting? And it's meditation. Now, as somebody who used to work in corporate and I used to work in like super corporate, I was in the legal department. I used to practice muggle law and now I practice spiritual law. So universal laws. But I will say this, I do remember also thinking, when I would do all my, I've been doing metaphysical work since the 1980s. And so I know meditation is highly important in this path, this journey. But when you encounter most teachers, that a lot of them are like, you need to do at least an hour a day. And I do remember I was doing a course under a certain teacher, and she was like, you need to meditate 2 hours a day, an hour in the morning and an hour at night, every single day. And I was looking at her like, are you high on the crack? That is some good crack, because no, who has that kind of time when you work, you commute, you have a family, you have a life, or at least you're trying to, you got to clean your house, all the things. So doing this 2 hour thing, which is great, now that this is what I do for a living, this is, I'm in my woopreneur passion business of being a co-creative life coach and your friendly neighborhood super woo who provides intuitive readings. The thing is that, yeah, that's part of my practice to be the best I can be for you whenever I need to show up for you. But that's incorporated into my workday because that's what I do. But knowing that you might be in a corporate situation where you are on someone else's schedule, trying to fit 2 hours of meditation in, it's kind of like, what? Although, yes, if you can, awesome. But if you can't, I've created this new playlist on my channel called Meditation Minute, or I think it might be My Meditation Minute. And if you go to the main, not right now, because we're still going to talk about warp speed manifesting, but if at the when we're done, head over to the main page on my channel, and I think it's the second or third playlist down on the main page. You'll see, and there should be one video because I just started. I'm going to do these one a week, and they're called My Meditation Minute, and it's basically 1 to 2 minutes. I mean, you could do it in the bathroom. I mean, let's be honest. So, where I guide you through a little meditation where you just take a moment for yourself, because that's what we need. We need self care and a moment for self to focus on what we need. And you can do it on your break. You can do it on your lunch hour in a parked car, not moving car. But that's what's there for you. Okay. So each week you'll get a new one on Monday. That is my plan. And they will be in that playlist. And there will be a deck coming for you with those cards in it. So that's forthcoming. But I did want to let you know that because I think it's really important in the manifesting process to have those meditation moments to reconnect to your inner being, because that's where the energy comes from that creates all the stuff we want. So I wanted to offer that up to you and share that with the excitedness. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can see whenever those are uploaded. Um, but back to our warp speed manifesting. How do we manifest in a flash? So if you're here and you want to leave a comment, I would love to see that. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and hashtag replay, especially if y'all have questions. Happy to answer questions. I am currently using StreamYard. So if you are on YouTube and you're signed in, you can go ahead and chat with me live during the live streams. If you are on Facebook, you will have to give StreamYard permission to be able to interact and ask questions. So I want to first start with this. Warp speed manifesting is what everyone wants, but everybody complains doesn't happen, right? Because what happens is the biggest challenge to you manifesting in a flash is the fact that you're focusing on the absence of the thing that you want because you're like, where the F is it? Where is it? Why is that person not doing what I want? Why is that job not calling me to tell me that I have the promotion or I have the new gig? Where are all these clients that I'm going to need to support my business? Where is the lever? Like that scene in Sex and the City where Charlotte goes, I have been trying to find Mr. Right since I was 16 years old and I'm now in my 30s. Where the F is he? That is focusing on the absence of what you want. Your job description, and I talk about this a lot in some of the other videos, but there's, you have a job description and the universe has a job description. And so, even though, yes, we are all one, we are individual, we are soul, and we are extension of that which is universe or source energy. But when we are in the human experience, we are in a 3D matrices that is just something we chose to experience where there is contrast meaning we experience the duality, the what we perceive as good, what we perceive as bad, what we perceive as positive, what we perceive as negative. So in those choices, we have a choice to either focus on the absence or the abundance of that which we are working towards attracting to us. So it's either absence or attraction, right? Good morning, Sharon. I'm so glad to see you. Hi, girlie. How are you? Um, so if our job description of you, the individual person that is striving to create the thing that you want through manifestation, that is done by you just sitting down and saying, like, what do I want and why do I want it? And then when opportunity presents, taking inspired action. Okay. And I'll go into like more examples in a minute. Now, the universe's job is the where, when, and how. And the fact is that we have a tendency, because of our programming, to want to control the where, when, and how. Like, because what happens is, I want to do X, or I want a new, like right now, we're in the process of selling this house and then moving to a new city and purchasing a house there. And so we're focused, like, I know this, and I'm sitting here. Here's the thing. I know what we're supposed to do, but a lot of times I'm just like you. I'm focusing on like, where the frig is my buyer so I can just pack my shit and go, so that and we can get on with our adventure. Because Darren and I sit and we talk about how all these plans we have, but it's almost like I can't do in-person stuff until we get somewhere else, because I could schedule it for July and we're not in here in Nashville in July. We might be somewhere else. So like that's why everything is on Zoom right now, or still. So understanding that I'm doing the same thing you are, and I'm sharing with you as a reminder to myself, and maybe as a reminder to you, that focusing on the absence looks like, what do I want? I want to sell my house. Why? Because I want to go somewhere that feels more aligned with who I am, that feels new, that has like just this open blank canvas. As somebody said over the weekend, somebody said to me, it's like a blank canvas when you move, um, to just start anew in a way where you can put down roots that are like your roots. Like right now we live in a condo complex, which is a lovely condo complex, and the neighbors are lovely. But it's almost like I've wanted a garden in my backyard for so long, where I don't have to think to myself, I can only put 3 tomato plants, and that's still overpopulating my little teeny weeny raised flower bed that I have in the backyard. I don't want to back 40 by any means, but I would love a garden. Why do I want that? Because I love being a kitchen witch, I guess is what you would call me, because I love creating nutritious, healthy. Like I know where my stuff came from because it makes it so much easier when I know where my tomatoes came from. I know where the zucchinis came from. I can play in the dirt and I can then take that stuff and create and provide for my family through the way that I feel like we're supposed to. I'm very big on the earth gives us everything we need. We just have to work in harmony with it as opposed to how a lot of us work now. So that's my why. Why do I really want to go? I just want to get out of here? That's not my why. I'm not tapped into my why. My why is because I want to cultivate the land. I want to be grateful and work in harmony with my land. I want to create a lovely space where I can support folks in their transformation and help them manifest the life that they want, especially women out there. I love working with women to create, like, and I call it woopreneur. That's what I call myself. And, I always say, you're a woopreneur. Most of the people that hang out and with me are either woopreneurs that have a business, they are spiritual side hustlers that are doing stuff on the side, or they are woopreneur wannabes who maybe are creating the dream in the moment. Like they know their dream, but they're not quite sure how to get it out there. But basically, to me, a woopreneur is somebody, and it doesn't matter if you're going to be an accountant or a Reiki healer or an artist of some kind. To me, it's whatever spirit has put in your soul. Like our soul purpose is joy, love, and happiness, right? But our life purpose is how we manifest that into this experience. So um, my expression of it is helping women kind of to make that leap from, and it's what I've only noticed recently because you go through this business thing where you're like, oh my goodness, who am I supposed to help? And like when I sat down and looked at all of my clients, they all have the same things in common. They're all creative. Now that does not just mean people who paint. It's people who paint, who write, who create something, musicians, writers, artists of any kind, or creators of well-being for others. That's what I call creativity. And you're just all co-creators. So it's the creative energy within you that doesn't, a lot of people say, oh, I'm not creative. Well, I bet you are. I'm creative in the kitchen, but I can't draw a lick. So, you know, the thing is that figuring out that was my why in my business has helped me figure out where I'm going to go and support that once I get there. So understand that you need to know your what do I want? And that's why it's really good to be able to set down your intentions list, which, we just had our new moon. If you're watching this in May of 2023, we just had our new moon in Taurus, which was a great time, especially like in the future. If you're watching this, earth signs and new moons are great to set down intentions because the earth energy element is where your manifestations happen. So this, and you're still kind of, I think you're in the still in new moon energy, but either way, the thing is, like, you can write intentions anytime you want to. But the fact is that under a new moon in Earth, it was a wonderful time to sit down and write the intentions. What people forget to do is write their why down. Why do you really want it? And your why has nothing to do with because I don't want this. Well, my intention is to manifest getting that new job or that new promotion or starting my business or whatever, or finding that new partner, whatever it is, right? But your why has nothing to do with like, um, well, because I don't like what I'm doing right now. That might be an underlying, like, anger is a motivator kind of thing. But honestly, you might want the promotion or your own business or a different job because you want to feel valued. You want to feel fulfilled. That's your why. It's not because you hate your boss. That could be a catalyst, but it's really not your why. So that's why I say when we do this, we have to take our whys. And then, like, say you're looking there, or somebody says, you really, like, I had so many people went for the last 6 years, y'all, 6 years. Trust me, you want to do manifesting in a flash, not manifesting in 6 years. I'm learning, sometimes I learn the hard way. We all do. But it took me 6 years of me talking about doing my own deck to finally having someone, a dear, dear friend of mine say, you and I need to have a come to whatever day you choose, but we are having a chit chat about you just getting your deck out there because it has to happen. So sometimes it takes a swift kick in the booty. I had all the elements and literally pulled the deck together, 90% of it together in less than 24 hours last week. So I manifested it, and I even found a printer that is going to be awesome. So, and why am I doing the deck? Because I want you to remember how special and loved you are by the divine. That's the purpose of the deck. And I also want to give you a way to meditate in less than a minute or 2 minutes so that it doesn't seem so intimidating. That's my why, to support you so you can get there, so you can love yourself more and move forward and all that kind of stuff. So that's my why. So you got to think about what is it that you want and why do you want it? Now, here's the kicker. A lot of times, it might be that you do your what, your why, and then all of a sudden your itty bitty shitty committee, your IBSC kicks in, and it's like, how are we going to get that done? How am I going to do that? Oh my God, how am I going to do that? Like a card deck example. How am I going to do this? Don't I have to? How am I going to process this? What if do I have to store them? We're moving. Where am I going to put 3,000 decks? Um, I need to find somebody that'll do small runs. And how do you, is there taxes involved? Do I got to figure that out? That's math? And I'm not super awesome at the mathing. I'm really good at the creating and the organizational stuff. But and do you see how like? And do I gotta create a web page? Oh my, what the crap? And I need influence. Ah, so then your vibration goes from I want to create this beautiful card deck for my peeps, for you, to because I want to support you in helping you really shine your light. To first shine your light on yourself and then shine your light into the world, whatever that looks like. And then immediately kind of went into the how and was like, went from being like, woo to so what has to happen is you got to stay. When you notice yourself kind of transitioning into the how, remember, you're crossing over your lane. You're not staying in your lane because the job description of the universe is the where, when, and the how. So what that means is think of it this way. You're at work and you have a micromanaging boss or colleague even because I've had that where people like they're lateral to you but they got to nitpick at you for whatever reason and you're just like can't you just go back in your cube and leave me alone, right? I mean, I even had bosses who weren't my boss that because they were physically present and my boss was not physically present, they felt like they had to come over and sit on me like some kind of hen waiting for an egg to hatch and you're just like get the hell away from me because they're micromanaging. That's what you're doing to the universe when you try to figure out the how. Stop trying to figure out the how. Stick to your why. Stick because when you are focused on what you want and why you want it, you are high vibe. And when the universe presents things, or gives you and presenting things doesn't necessarily mean it shows up like an Amazon package. It could mean, "Ooh, I got so excited I yanked my earbud out." And the reason I have these in right now is because the puppy Alight is back here, and even though he's quietly laying, sometimes he hears like the UPS man come and he like barks and scares the shit out of me. So I didn't want to do that to you. But anyways, so when we are in that what and why state and taking inspired actions, we're high vibe. And so when we're in that state, like I said, your inspired action opportunity may not show up as obvious as like your Amazon package being delivered or someone calling you and offering you the gig or, and sending you an email. Like a friend of mine just sent me a message the other day about a podcast that I could be on. That's like an opportunity that's like super overt from the universe when you open up and it's like, hey, here you go. It might be an idea. You might have instead an intention and be an idea. Like in the newsletter this week, I'm sharing about how I went to the Galactic Expo this week because that's the big annual woo-woo conference here in Nashville. And I went to it on Saturday. And oh, Sharon, yeah, I missed you at the expo. I saw everybody but you. I feel like yeah. So I mean, I don't know if you went on Saturday or not. We did, but anyway, so last week during the new moon, one of the things I was like, hey, I really would love, I'm an introvert by nature. I may seem like an extrovert because I'm on here all the time. I can sing in front of like 4,000 people. It's not a big deal, but my recharge is introverted. So my recharge is alone time. And for the past couple of years, recharge time, it's like I was so in my comfort zone, just always being like, in my house that it got really challenging to leave. And I really was kind of like, you know what, this past week Well, for several months, it was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends in onesies and twosies, like go have lunch or a reflexology thing. And and in the last week or two, I was like, I really need my community back, and not just on here. Like, I want to go out and get with my peeps and give them hugs and have in-person chats because I think we all know that that's really important. So I set that intention. And then on Saturday, we were gonna go to the farmers market and then the town picnic because, like, to just kind of interact and stuff like that. But it rained and poured. And so all outdoor activities were like, because it was awful. And I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to go to this Galactic Expo because that's where my peeps are. They're not at the farmers market. They might be, but they're not really out there, and they might be at the picnic, but they're, same thing. But if I go to Galactic Expo, which it's indoors, everybody there is a my peep, my kind of person. They're a bunch of woos. I got so many hugs and so many good conversations and readings and connected with people and connected with new people, and it felt so good. I There was 2 or 3 times I just almost cried because I had people who were now friends, former clients, now colleagues coming up and saying, I haven't seen you in 3 years. I am so excited to see you. Let me share what has happened since we talked 3 years ago and you coached me or gave me a reading and I listened to your advice. And now, like, I had people saying that they left their corporate job and started working in their dream space, which was in the much more spiritual area, which I was like crying. It was great. I had people that watched the YouTube channel come up to me. So if that was you, hello, thank you. I'm so excited that we got to meet, and just hugged and loved on people that I hadn't seen forever. And it felt so good. I came home, I felt so much better. And I knew that, like, okay, I need to get back into my community and manifest that. And that happened in less than 48 hours because I was so focused on what I wanted to be with my peeps in my community. Why did I want it? Because I wanted to feel that circle of love again, like that circle of like reconnection. I felt so disconnected. And I felt like that was such a big deal for me. And so, see, you can manifest stuff, and it can be a feeling, it can be a thing, it could be another human, you know. It's just, and creating that for yourself, but you have to stay in your job description. You have to be in your what, your why. And then when something presents itself, like it rained all day, so I got rained out. And then I was like, oh, there's a Galactic Expo on Saturday. I'm just going to go there. And saying yes to it, that's when and being open to receive it. That's how this works. So what has to happen is you need to stay and know your job description. You're the what and the why, universe is where, when, and how. Stay in your job lane. Do not be the micromanaging, you know, I have so many words running through my head. But let's just say that micromanaging person in your office that is annoying as hell. Don't be that to the universe. Stay in your lane. What and your why, inspired action. That's your job. And then stop pushing the rock up the hill. Okay. So a lot of times when we want something, we're trying to force. Again, that's jumping into your how. How am I going to do this? And then trying it. That's not inspired action. That is um, uh, lack mentality action because I'm forcing something because I don't trust the universe. I'm going to try and push and push and push. I have this idea and I'm just going to push and push, push. And when you're in that space because it doesn't feel good. Inspired action feels good. Lack, pushing, all that kind of stuff in the how does not feel good because you feel like you're working really hard and you're getting nowhere. And then allow and receive. Allow and receive is that inspired action. Allow that inspired action. Be open to that opportunity. And then allow yourself to receive whatever that brings for you. It could be a lesson, it could be more information, it could be just networking. Like later today, I'm sending out emails to all the people that I met that were new because I want to stay connected to them because I loved how connected I felt on Saturday. So keeping those newly opened connections and then reconnecting with others and stuff like that. Um, Again, inspired action. And then faith, knowing the universe has your back. Like way back in 2010, so 13 years ago, this house flooded in this flood of 2010 in Nashville. It's not, I'm not telling tales out of school. It was what it was. We are not in a floodplain. It was because of certain people not doing their jobs. I'll just leave it at that happened. And it was a 1,000 year flood. So one time in 1,000 years. But we ended up with 4 feet of water in the house. Our house was unlivable, and we were so blessed with so many people that came and helped, but I manifested 5 grand in less than 24 hours, and this is how I did it. We were down to, having to put the staircase in back in the house, which if you don't put it in, codes will not pass you, okay? So and we were also in the last month of our alternative living arrangement, so we had to move back. So it was like do or die. But we had run out of money. The staircase was gonna cost 5 grand, and, we just we had no idea what to do. And I remembered, here's my job description. I remembered my job description and the universe's job description. And I know the universe sent me all the people that helped us, sent us all kinds of resources. And I just had faith all the way through. And I knew I was feeling like for a minute there, I was like doing the shit spiral. And then I finally was like, nope, I'm going to go out in nature. I went and took a walk because we lived in a really, at the time, our alternate living arrangements were in a apartment complex that was lots of green space. So I went outside and I walked around with my dog at the time, and I had a conversation with the universe. And I said, okay, here's the deal. We need 5 grand to finish this staircase, or we can't move back in that house. And our lease is up in like less than a month. So I don't know how I'm going to get that 5 grand. And like, quite frankly, that's not my job. That's your job, spirit. The how and where it's going to come from, I have no idea, and I'm not going to try because I got too much other things going on in my mind. I'm going to delegate this to you, and I have faith that you're going to bring me that money, and it's all going to be okay. And that was it. That was my conversation. And then I went to work because I was still working in corporate, and I remember talking to my friend who sat next to me. And if you're watching this, you know who you are. And she and I were talking about it, and I said, "Oh, it's this Downton Abbey staircase," because I loved Downton Abbey at the time. I'm still a huge fan. I was even a huger fan when it was like still kind of like in progress. And I told Darren I wanted a Downton Abbey staircase. He designed it and found all the pieces, and him and my dad already planned to put it in. We just had to buy all the stuff, and we just didn't have the money at the time. But instead of talking about that, I just was telling her all about the staircase, about how beautiful it was going to be. Darren found it. It has the big post. I'm so excited. I can't wait for her to come and see it. I did not mention 1 minute that we were kind of like worried about money. And she and I laughed about it. And she kind of gave me crap about being like such a Downton Abbey fan. I was going to put a staircase, and I said my dog's going to walk down the staircase with me, just like the guy in the show. And then literally 3 o'clock that afternoon, same day, phone rings, and it is a charitable organization who helps musicians out. And since I was working in the music business and teaching voice at the time, they were very supportive of us. And they called to say, "We have another round of money. Are you still in need of support?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "Okay, well, we have another check for you if you want to come down and get it." And I said, "Great. How much is it for?" And they said, $5,000. I swear to God, swear to universe, swear to Mickey Mouse, Oprah Winfrey, whoever your person is, I'm telling you the truth. That's how fast it was. Just by focusing on my what and my why and answering the phone and saying yes. Okay. And this is for everything. Everything. It could be for a feeling. It could be for calling in your people. It could be for calling in your business, calling in that career jump you want to make, calling in whatever you want. But you have to remember this is a learning schoolhouse that we're in. We're spiritual beings having a human experience who chose this third dimension that is shifting from 3 to 4 to 5 and up right now. And choosing to be in abundance rather in the absence of that which you want. Remember, let's not blame, shame, and guilt ourselves when you figure that out. Just say, oh, I was practicing absence thinking. I'm just going to choose, because that's your superpower, is the power of choice. I'm going to choose to abundance think. I'm going to practice abundance thinking. What that means is I'm going to be in my what and my why and say yes when opportunities open. And that's it. And it comes that fast. That fast. I could keep going, but we're at almost 30 minutes. I want to stay to time, but I could tell you stories like nobody's business about when you're in that vibration. And that's how you do your warp speed manifesting. So know your job description, what and the why in your inspired action, and don't micromanage the universe. Number 2 is stop pushing the boulder up the hill. If it feels like that, you're not taking inspired action, my darling. You're pushing, and that's not how this works. Allow and receive when that inspired action comes to you, whether it be like literally a text from a friend saying, "Hey, here's an opportunity," or it might be an idea that you have to do something. Experiment with it. Be open to it, and then receive what it comes. And have faith. Know the universe has your back. And so do I. So, whatever you need, I'm here. Again, I'm Soul Coach Michelle, your co creative life coach that helps a lot of creative and spiritually hearted woopreneurs, spiritual side hustlers, and woopreneur wannabes to shift from their corporate job into their, I guess, soul fulfilling place, as well as like maybe helping those in corporate that want to stay in that kind of environment to find something that is more soul aligned. So that's kind of how I roll. If I can support you, I would love to do that. Go ahead and schedule your curiosity call through my website. And also make sure you check out my new meditation minutes that help you to meditate, but only in a minute. Everybody has a minute, and you probably need a minute. The world's crazy. So take your minute and go ahead and breathe and meditate with me. And then, thirdly, I am running a special in June for readings. I'm opening up my calendar, but I want to let you know, those of you who are on the mailing list, tomorrow's email will have a pre sale. So you get the best spots and the best dates um, for this special. So I want you to be on the lookout for that so that you can claim your spot. Number one. Number two, the rest of you, I'll be promoting it starting Wednesday. Um, so if you want to get the pre-sale, so you get the spot that you want for this special reading offer that I'm doing, go ahead and sign up for my email list, which if you go to my website and scroll to the bottom, you can sign up there and you will receive the email pre-sale before everybody else. And then that's it. So um, that's what I got going on. And I hope this was helpful. I hope that you start practicing abundance thinking versus absence thinking so that you can manifest those dreams quick as a bunny, as a friend of mine used to say. So I love you so much. I will see you in a week. And until then, I'll see you in the vortex. And as always, hashtag replay with any questions. I love you guys so much. See you soon. Bye.